believe you all know the story of Yosef from the Bible in the book of Bereshit. At the beginning of his life, he had so many blessings. He was his father, Jacob's favorite. But then Joseph went through a series of terrible trials, betrayal by his brothers and being sold into slavery and then put in prison. It seemed very bleak, and at the end of the first parsha about him, Vayeshev, there seemed to be no hope. He is forgotten in an Egyptian prison, but the seeds for his rise have already been sown. In his early years, he was self-centered and did not seem to care about how his words might hurt his brothers. He was arrogant, some say narcissistic. But through the humbling experiences he had, he somehow learned compassion. It was because he noticed his fellow prisoners feeling upset and asked about them, that he was able to interpret their dreams, which eventually led to his rise when Pharaoh had mysterious dreams and his servant remembered Yosef. As you may remember, Yosef interpreted Pharaoh's dreams that Egypt would experience 7 years of good weather and bounteous crops, followed by 7 years of drought and hunger. Joseph convinced Pharaoh to ration and store food during the 7 good years, and that enables Egypt to ride through the 7 bad years with the resources they rationed, while every other country in the region suffered misery and starvation. Pharaoh rewards Joseph and makes him the viceroy of Egypt. Mystics think of this story as an archetype for, I'll try my Hebrew, Yerida L'Tzarach Aliyah, descent for the sake of ascent. The idea is in our times of suffering and struggle, we can use the challenges to learn and to transform ourselves for the better. It's not that our suffering is meant to be, but rather that we, like Joseph, have opportunities to learn even in the worst of times, and we never know where it might lead. For Joseph, it led to the transformation of his character from arrogance and narcissism to being more caring and compassionate. This ultimately led to the joyous reconciliation and forgiveness of Joseph's brothers. As I stand before you on the graduates' night, I see a real analogy to the story of Joseph amongst all of you. You come from countries where it is difficult to be Jewish, or from very challenging family circumstances in the state of Israel. I think that some of you who came to Israel to escape from conflict, anti-Semitism, and even persecution, only to be in Israel during the 16 months that have followed October 7th, 2023. You have come to Yemin Orde, a place that challenges you to improve yourselves, to do both Tikkun HaLev and Tikkun HaLam. You are then challenged to serve in the IDF, and then go to colleges and become leaders in Israeli society. Some of you have served the IDF in extremely trying circumstances in Gaza, Lebanon, and the West Bank. You are the embodiment of the people who have done Yerida L'Tzarach Aliyah. You each have your own story of going through this transformation, and hopefully it has made you a stronger and better people. I'm honored to have been allowed to speak on this special Graduates Day. I have been involved with Impact Israel, the American support organization for Yemin Orde, the Yemin Orde Youth Village, and the Derek Farr Initiative since 2001, almost 25 years, and it has always enriched my life and the life of my family. I am pleased that so many of you are receiving scholarships to ease your financial burdens. And I say to all of you, Kol HaKavod.